Good evening, everybody, and thank you for joining me. I'm sure most of you are aware that there has been a verdict and also the sentencing of Karmelo Anthony today. I'm going to give a recap from this morning up until this evening's events. Today's coverage begins with the shift that happened early this morning outside the Collin County courthouse. The crowds gathered long before the court opened, and the tension in the air was unmistakable. Deputies increased their presence, SWAT units staged nearby, and everyone on scene understood that something significant was coming. The temperature of the day, emotionally and literally, kept rising as the hours passed. Late in the morning, confirmation came in. The jury had reached a verdict in the murder trial of Karmelo Anthony. This case centers on the fatal stabbing of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf at a Frisco ISD track meet. Anthony had been indicted on first-degree murder, a charge under Texas law that applies when a person intentionally or knowingly causes the death of another. The punishment range for first-degree murder is 5 to 99 years of life in prison or life in prison, unless the jury finds sudden passion, which can reduce the charge to a second-degree felony. When the courtroom reconvened, the atmosphere shifted from tense to heavy. Family members on both sides braced themselves as the jury delivered its decision. Guilty of murder. The jury did not find sudden passion. That meant the conviction remained a first-degree felony, keeping the full sentencing range intact. The trial then moved directly into the sentencing phase. The prosecution focused on the severity of the attack and the long-term impact on the families and of the victim's family. The defense argued for leniency, pointing to Anthony's age, background, and the circumstances surrounding the incident. By late afternoon, the judge delivered the final sentence, 35 years in the Texas Department of Criminal Justice. Under Texas law, a 35-year sentence for first-degree murder requires serving at least half, 17 and a half years, before eligible for parole. Parole eligibility does not guarantee release. The sentence falls squarely within the statutory range for first-degree murder. Inside the courtroom, the reaction was emotional but controlled. Some people cried, some held on to each other, others sat in complete silence, absorbing the weight of the number that had just been spoken. Outside, the reaction was far more intense. The crowds had been building throughout the day, grew louder as the sentence was announced. Things started heating up. There were some arrests that were made. People were hauled off by law enforcement. Deputies stepped in multiple situations during different times of the day. Reporters struggled to maintain their live shots as emotions spilled over. The courthouse remained under tight security as people processed the outcome. Tonight, the story is complete. We have a verdict that was reached, a first-degree murder conviction upheld, a 35-year sentence delivered under Texas law, and we have two families leaving the courtroom with futures permanently altered by today's events. And I'd like to thank all of you for listening to my post on this topic. You've all been extremely gracious and have handled all of your comments with respect, and I appreciate that. So this chapter is closed for now, and the end of a long day for many. We'll see what unfolds in the future. Thank you all, and have a good night, and stay safe.